Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Miriam and I love everything about books. I really like reading books, I love collecting books, and I'm going to tell you more about that in this video. I love writing books, I love selling books because I work in a bookstore, and simply put, I love everything bookish. And on this channel I tell you more about my bookish life, and like I said, today's video is about buying books or collecting books. I put myself on a book buying ban because I have a massive amount of books to read before I can buy no books. At the end of this video I'll show you a video with my current TBR, which is amazing. And well, I put myself on a book buying ban, and during that book buying ban I actually bought 9 books, which is not a very good example of someone sticking to their own rules. So from this day on I'm going to stick to that, and I hold you all accountable. You're my accountability partners, so I'm not buying any more books until I've read all the books that are currently on the stack. That's going to be really hard because there are a lot of books on that. It's like 50 or 60, I believe. But okay, here we go. Let's dive into the books that I bought, and I'm also going to explain you why I bought them, why I sort of talked myself into buying the books, why it was allowed, and I think there are pretty good reasons. And but I'm also aware that I need to stop enabling myself by talking myself into buy books because I've earned it or for whatever reason. So I'm done with that, but I'm going to show you the books that I've bought, and well, I'll just show you. So the first book is a Dutch original by my sort of colleague Marina Volkers. I call her my colleague. We're not actually published by the same publisher, but she lives in the same village as I do, and I've met her a couple of times now, and she's really the kindest, nicest person ever. But this book is called Onder de Sterren van Montpellier, which can be translated as Under the Stars of Montpellier, and it's a Dutch book that takes place in France, and the main character is English, and her love interest is half French, half English, British. Anyway, very interesting. It's a very cute story, but why I bought this book, I've actually already read it as an ebook, and I recently reread the physical copy of my book, and I really like that story by this author. There are 2 books that, it's not that I don't like them, but I do not really feel the need to have them. And the problem is they're going out of print. Like, they won't be published anymore. There won't be another reprint or whatever. It's so they're going out of print. So, and the bookshop where I work, we had a deal with this author. We could buy her books that she bought back from her publisher, and so we could sell the books in the bookstore and at a reduced price. And I realized that one of my favorite books by this author was going out of print, so I thought it's now or never, and I bought the book, and we already sold them cheaper, and I had a discount because I work at the bookstore. So therefore I decided I was allowed to buy this book, because after I would not be able to buy the book anymore, so therefore I bought the book. The second stack, like the next 6 books, 6? No, 5. 5 books I'm going to show you are books that I bought at a second-hand bookshop. Actually at a thrift store, but were second-hand books. And the thing is, I'm writing a fantasy series. I've told you about this probably in my video where I told about the books I've published so far, and I say fantasy series, but for now it's a standalone that has the potential to become a series. I think with the ending I need to write a sequel, but for now it's a standalone that has the potential to become a sequel. But for the world building and everything, I wanted to get some pictures so I could make collages, do you call them that way? But I could like really show myself how it was done, and I know you can do this digitally, but I wanted to do it physically on paper and everything. So I went to a second-hand store, to a thrift store, to buy all sorts of books with mountains in them, magazines that I could cut up. And unfortunately there weren't a lot. I expected a lot more of that, and the book section, the novel section, got my attention, and then I picked out 5 books, and I bought these 5 books, or actually I bought 6 books for only €7 or something like that, and I also bought a book for my boyfriend, and so that's not included in this video, because buying books to give them to other people does not count for my book buying ban, actually, which makes sense, I believe. So I got these books. The first one is, I really need to check the English title, The Mountain Between Us, or Over Bergen Heen by Charles Martin, and I've been looking for this book for ages. I've seen it in the library, but I didn't want to borrow it because I wanted to have a copy of my own. I really like the books by Charles Martin, so I can't wait to read this book. I haven't read it yet, I haven't seen the film, and I'm actually not planning on watching that either, because I hear it's not really doing justice to the book. But I have not read the book yet. So The Mountain Between Us by Charles Martin, I was so happy I saw this book. Next is Dear Emmy Blue. I know hardly a thing about this book, only that I've seen it on Instagram, Booktube and BookTok, although I do not have TikTok for reasons, but I've seen this is a very popular book, so I am sort of curious about the book, and I think it was like only €1, so if it's not a good book, I'm not losing sleep over that. This book is, I think it's A Second Chance for Missy. Oh no, Saving Missy. But they translated the title to Een Tweede Kans voor Missy, which is A Second Chance for Missy, and I really like the cover of this book and the title, and I believe that on Goodreads I saw it's for people who are into the books by Frederick Backman, like A Man Called Uva, and also some of those books, so I thought this sounds like a very cute story that I will enjoy. And next are 2 books by Kristen Hanna. I've read several of her books as ebooks, and I found out that I had not read these books and they sounded quite interesting. They are the Dutch editions of The Things We Do for Love. That's this one. And hardcover edition, only €1. Let me check. Distant Shores. So I really enjoy her books, so I will probably enjoy these as well. And if not, like I said, it's only €1, so that's not really something to lose sleep over. I can always give them to someone else or sell them again, bring them back to the bookstore, don't know. Well, the last 2 books are English books that were actually the first for me to break the book ban. And the first one, I've showed it many times before, but is God Has a Name by John Mark Comer. Like I said, I work in a bookstore, and someday I had to, well, I'm doing the social media for the bookstore, and I read the text on the back, like the, I don't know, I should know how you call it in English, but we call it flop text. And it made me realize that this might be the book that I needed at this season of my life. It's about who is God and what implications does that have for me and the way I live. And I was right, this was absolutely the book I needed to, well, in this season of my life. And I'm really glad I actually broke my book buying ban for this book, because it has changed the way I look at the world, the way I look at myself, and the way, well, also the way I look at God. And it was so powerful, and I would recommend this book to everyone, which is basically what I do in this video and in previous videos, and what I also do at my work and my family. I'm like really an advocate for John Mark Comer's books. The other book is also a book by John Mark Comer, and now I have all his books. There's only one book that I realized a couple of weeks ago that he has written as well, but it's not available. Well, it is available, but it costs like 50 euros, and that's too expensive for a book. So I bought the Kindle version that I can read on my phone. It's only 3 euros because I do have a Kobo reader, and I can't read Kindle books on my Kobo reader, which is, I think that's still a bad thing. Anyway, Live No Lies by John Mark Comer, and so I do have the ebook version of My Name is Hope. I haven't read that one yet, but I can't wait to get into that one. But this is also a powerful book. I'm currently reading it. I'm not done yet. But this book made me realize that I am far more influenced by ungodly theories, teachings, but teachings that are not according to the Bible and according to God's will, and how important it is that we as Christians know where we stand, but like the balance between being loving and kind people and give freedom to other people. Like it's really hard to explain for me. I can't even explain it in Dutch, but this book made me realize that I was influenced far more by modern worldviews than I realized, and it sort of brought me back to the basic, to the roots, and that I want to live the way that God wants me to live, and not the lies that I've been told about relationships, about sexuality, about really about your entire lifestyle. And this book really helped me with that. And if you're struggling with that, if you're not sure what to think of life and what to, how can I put this, and to, well, if you are curious how we ended up in a society of today, how it ended up like this, maybe you should read Live No Lies too, whether you're a Christian or not. But especially if you're a Christian, I would really recommend this book to you, and I have no regrets at all that I broke my book buying ban for this book. I do feel some regrets towards the novels, towards the fiction book, but I do not regret it toward my non-fiction books. And from now on I will stick to my book buying ban, and well, so that actually means that there are not going to be any book haul videos in the short run, because my TBR is massive. It really is. I'm going to show you. Well, this is my current TBR. It's not just those 3 stacks at the front, but there are like 3 stacks at the back of the shelf as well. So it's really a lot of books that I need to read. Some of them are rereads, but there are also quite a lot of new reads. I might actually, I don't know if you can see it better if I put it this way. Yeah, and these were the books that I showed you in the video, so I might actually, oh, I'm sorry, I just dropped the books. So, well, this one is not one I showed in the video. There are quite a lot of Dutch books on it, not Dutch originals, but just simply Dutch books. And anyway, this is a massive stack and I need to get into reading. So well, now you've seen my TBR and now you know why I'm desperately in need of a book buying ban. I hope to stick with it this time. Let me know in a comment whether you put yourself on a book buying ban often or not, or if you're just like, I can buy only 1 book a month, 1 book a quarter, or whatever. What are your rules for book buying? Let me know in a comment. That might be helpful for me. If you're not a subscriber yet of my channel but you don't want to miss any more videos, then please consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and as always, happy reading!